some of the things you're seeing?
My big red flag for Washington works right into Michigan's strength. They don't stop the run very well. I mean, Texas was without their best running back, and I'll pull up the numbers here for Texas. They had almost 200 yards rushing as a team.
Yeah.
On 28 carries. They allowed Texas to average 6 yards per carry, 6.5 almost. I don't think they'll be able to stop. Well, they couldn't stop Texas' run game. They're not going to be able to stop ours. And then I don't think Dylan Johnson will be able to run as well on us as he did on them. Mind you, he didn't have that great a game because those two defensive tackles for Texas are so amazing. They're both like top 10, top 15 picks in my opinion. If they both were to go pro this year. But and then I don't know that they've got two phenomenal tackles offensively, Washington does, but I don't think their interior offensive line matches up well against our interior guys. I think we can push that pocket from the middle. And I think that the time of possession in this game, I wouldn't be shocked if you look at it at the end of the game and it's like 3-1 in favor of Michigan.
Okay.
I think we just grind the game out, suffocate. Joel Klatt called us boa constrictors all year. This is the time to do it. Yeah. Keep Penix on that sideline, pound the ball, run the clock, and limit their possessions to make them have to be perfect to stay in this game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And let's you said it right there. I mean, you said it all, but I think that's key. And I talked to you about this before. In this game, in my opinion, it's going to be that running game, time of possession. That's going to be key, but it's also going to be those NFL caliber wide receivers of Washington going up against arguably one of the best secondaries in the country, if not the best. And we saw, look, Alabama didn't have anybody outside of Jermaine Burton. And when I look at Burton, I don't think he's on the level of an Odunze or a Polk or those guys.
No.
But them being able to neutralize him, I thought played huge. Now, they only had really one weapon at Alabama. You got 2 to 3 guys because you got McMillan also that can get big numbers. So that's that matchup that I really want to see. I want to see if, that front seven can give Penix some pressure, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I also want to see if he can hit him deep. I remember that first deep pass that Penix threw to Odunze, and I'm looking at it, and I'm looking ahead to your game, and I'm just like, ooh, because he was open, and the route wasn't anything too complicated. He just outran him to the spot, and it was like, ooh, and Texas doesn't have slouches there, so that's where I'm really looking to see that pass game for Washington versus the defense and the secondary for Michigan. Because I think I've told you this multiple times. Michigan has one of the most underrated defenses, at least in my opinion, or at least I don't feel like they're getting the praise that they deserve. They're not getting talked about like they need to. They shut down teams all year long. And I feel like we're not talking about that defense and especially that secondary. Sammerstill, ever since you mentioned him to me in your game ball, I've been watching him and I'm like, Washington. I'm actually that's why I'm wearing this hat. I'm trying to recruit as well as talk about this. I'm sorry, Alex. I got it. It's
all
business. Good. It's business. All right.
For me, I look at their passing game versus our secondary. And there's 2 really fun matchups for me. The one is on the outside. Will Johnson, Rome Odunze. I cannot wait for that matchup. Yeah. I mean, this is a guy that's been going up against Marvin Harrison Jr. the last couple of years. And I think, Quentin Johnston last year. I think this is a guy that's ready for the matchup of Rome Odunze. Obviously, Rome's still going to get his catches. You're not shutting him out of an entire game. But I think that matchup is going to be so fun to watch. And then I think the other one is Polk's their slot receiver, correct? McMillan's the other outside guy?
Yeah.
So then Sainristil versus Polk. I think we got two good corner wide receiver matchups there. I think they can take advantage of McMillan versus Wallace on the other side.
Yeah.
So if I'm Minter, I'm kind of slanting our safeties towards Wallace's side, giving him some help, and I feel like the other corners can kind of hold their own as much as you'd expect them to against a very good passing offense.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. But, I mean, that's going to be a matchup. And then, obviously, like you mentioned earlier, the time of possession, the running game. I mentioned this when I was talking to Ben and Alec and those guys. When you go to the dance, you dance with the one who brung you. Now, and I love your – now, in hindsight, I definitely see the game plan that they were. Let's pass, because they know we run the ball. So let's let them know. Let's, get them off kilter. It didn't work necessarily for Michigan at one point. But
not early.
But the idea, I'm behind the idea. So we know what that is. But at the end of the day, like I said to them, I don't care if you run 23 personnel. I don't care if you sit there in the goal line formation at the 50-yard line, because you not only have the O-line to do it, but you also have Blake Corum, and you got a motivated Blake Corum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I watched it. So Blake Corum's actually from Virginia. He's from Marshall, Southern Virginia. Like I've driven past there. And I'm like, oh, wow, really? But he's motivated. 365 days ago, we were having the same conversation before the TCU game. And even after, and I said to you, God, how different would things have been had you had Blake Corum? How different now, after the season he's had, him being the stabilizing force. Let's be very honest with everything that happened with Coach and McCarthy struggles from time to time. There's two things you've been able to rely on: that run game and that defense. And Corum is the heartbeat of this team. And when you come to the big games, you give it to the one that brought you to the big game. You got to go with your guy. And this is a game where I expect Corum. It might not be pretty, but it's going to be gutsy and grit. And then when it comes down to it, the 3rd and 1s, the 4th and 1s, the late drives where you're going to need to milk the clock, it's going to come down to Corum. And I'm here for all of it. As a running back, I know you're O-line. I'm here for every bit of it. That last victory drive with 8 minutes to go, up by 6, and you just say they're not getting back on the field. We are going to milk this clock to the damn thing ends. And I'm so hyped for it. Let's go.
Me too. Yeah, I'm so ready for it. Monday cannot get here fast enough.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, cannot get here fast enough. And from the moment that game ended, Tuesday I had to go back to work, and all I've been thinking of all week is, can Monday get here already? Can Monday get here already? Can Monday get here already?
Oh, I feel you. Ben, yes. It is a little chilly out here, but I'm saying positive things about Jim Harbaugh. So in order for me to stay alive, we need to close the door and stay out here in the cold.
If he wants to even at least be able to sleep on the couch, he's got to do it out here right now.
Right. Even that's in question right now. All right. So Blake Corum gives me Maurice Jones Drew vibes. A bowling ball with leg. Dude's going to be a solid runner in the NFL if he gets in the right system. Absolutely.
I think that's a perfect comparison.
Oh yeah, I'm here for all of it. So hey, let's give it. We got two days till the national championship. The score might change. I know the winner isn't going to change. Alex, what's your pick? And what's the score going to be?
To me, when Harbaugh started building this team 3 years ago, this is the kind of team he went to beat. That's the image this team was built around, because this team is so reminiscent of 2021 Ohio State. With Stroud, with Smith and Jigba, with Garrett Wilson, with Chris Olave. This team is so similar to that. I feel like Michigan, obviously, I feel like they get the job done. Now, I don't feel like it's going to be those early Michigan-Ohio State games from the last few years. I don't think we run away with it. But I think about... I'll say 31-21.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. There, I mean, come on now. I've been with you all year and then some. Michigan all day. And honestly, I don't think it's going to be as close. I think it's going to be 34-20. I think you guys are going to come out and stick it right to them. That defense is going to show up early and it's going to shut that high-powered offense down early. And I think you guys are going to get up on a lead. They're going to start coming back late in the game. But like I said, I think it's going to come down to that last drive. It's going to be, 27-20? They got some momentum, and then all of a sudden, Blake Corum left, Blake Corum right, Blake Corum up the middle. What play are we calling this one? Blake Corum. The O-line goes to the line. Yeah. Blake Corum, like right to this guy right here. Blake Corum to the right. Like, what a football running back, a football fan and running back, a fan of the running game loves. Give him the ball, let him cement the game, and let's crown my guy. Let me put that crown on his head. But hey, let's get there. Let's get there. I'm not gonna speak.
Job's not finished yet.
Absolutely.